So, I recently went to visit my best friend Joanna in Luxembourg, and we were playing around with her bookshelves, and I was talking to her about how I am feeling really in a slump with YouTube. You'll have noticed I haven't posted for a while, and honestly the reason is because I just have no video ideas. So if there's any videos you actually want to see from me, by all means let me know, because that's the reason I haven't posted. I didn't know what to film. So while I was there, she was like, why don't we choose a TBR for each other and then you can film it for your channel. And so that's what this is. That's what we did. We set ourselves some prompts and we set each other a TBR. So this is kind of a part one. I haven't read these yet. There will be a part two wherein I will tell you what I thought of them and how Joanna did with the prompts. The first prompt was a book that we thought the other person would love. The book that Joanna chose for me for that one is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. The reason she chose this one is because we have both read, I don't think Joanna's read this yet, but we have both read the Divine Rivals duology. I don't think that's actually what it's called, but I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean. And we both really liked that one, and I've had this on my shelves for a while. She did try to pick books that were already on, she picked from stuff that was already on my TBR, by the way, and this was the one she chose. I am probably going to read them in this order that I'm telling you about as well, by the way. I don't really remember much about what this is other than it being Celtic inspired, so I have access to the audiobook on Everand and I'm going to read it. The next prompt was a book that could go either way. So I could end up loving it, or I could end up hating it, or finding it meh, or whatever. And that is Law of the Wild by Annalie Sbrana. I could be pronouncing that wrong. The reason Joanna chose this as I could go either way is because it is romantasy, which does tend to work for me, but there have been a lot of mixed reviews about this book so far. It really does sound like the kind of thing that I could enjoy, but I guess we'll have to wait and see because of how mixed the reviews have been, whether or not I fall on the side of like or dislike. And this is a fae romantasy, which also adds a layer of might not work, because fae can be very hit or miss, and mostly miss for me personally, so we'll see how it goes. The next prompt was for a book that came out recently-ish. We said ish because we were going to include essentially anything that came out this year or last year. It just so happened that the one that Joanna chose for me came out this year, and that is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. This is one that I picked up from Waterstones recently, in fact, and I mean, it's got tea in the title, and I think it's a heist-based book, so that's why I was interested. I have read one other book by Hafsa Faisal. It's the first in We Hunt the Flame. We Hunt the Flame. I read that. Didn't really work for me. I didn't connect with the characters, so I have my fingers crossed that this is going to work better. The next prompt was a book that you, the person picking the book, don't know much about. So Joanna picked for me Scattered All Over the Earth by Yoko Tawada. This is a dystopian translated book that I had on my shelf for maybe a couple of years. Now, I don't know, I picked it up when I was in Edinburgh with Lee. So maybe about 18 months ago, actually. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, I've been really looking forward to this. It's actually quite short. I just haven't got around to picking it up yet, but I have been interested in it. And I don't think Joanna had even heard of it. But I think it's quite popular in the UK. I don't know about anywhere else, but I do see it in the shops in the UK pretty much every time I go into a bookshops. And then the last book was a free pick, and this one I don't have a physical copy of. It is from my audio TBR, and it is Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer, which is an epic fantasy book, which is very exciting. It's standalone-ish. I think the author is planning on putting out a second book, but I don't know whether that's a direct sequel or it's just set in the same world, or if it's definitely going to happen or not. But from what I understand, you can read it as a standalone, so that is what I will be doing. I'll be reading it as a standalone, and if and when there's ever a second book, I will reconsider whether or not I want to read it. But I am very excited for it, and I may pick up a physical copy of the book, I'm not sure. We shall see. So that is part 1, that is this TBR, and I will be back in the future at some point with a part 2 once I have read these books. These are my immediate TBR, so I will be reading these books in the order I've just spoken about as the next 5 books that I read. So hopefully it won't be too long before I have a video updating you, but I can't do that right now because I haven't read them yet. And that is it for this one. Oh, you probably want to know what I picked for Joanna, didn't you? Let me tell you, because she doesn't put videos on YouTube anymore. So for the book that I thought she would love, I chose The Betrayals by Bridget Collins? I want to say Bridget Collins, which is an author. She liked the Bookbinders, I think is the first book by that author. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's going to like that. For a book that could go either way, I've chosen In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune, because we both really enjoyed House in the Cerulean Sea by that author. I don't think Joanna's read Under the Whispering Door yet, or In the Lives of Puppets, and In the Lives of Puppets is slightly sci-fi, slightly Pinocchio retelling, slightly Wizard of Oz-ish. So, I mean, it didn't hit perfectly for me, and I feel like it really could go either way for her, hence why I picked it for that particular prompt. The third prompt, again, was a book that came out recently-ish. I chose A Funny Story by Emily Henry, which had literally just come out, so we really didn't need our ish in the end, but there we go. Next was a book that I, the picker, didn't know anything about, and I chose Hello Beautiful. I don't know who it's by. I don't know what it is. I think it's litfic. I don't know what it's about. I know nothing about it, hence why I chose it for that prompt. And finally, the free pick, I chose The Inheritance of Orcadia Divina. I can't remember the author's name for that one, sorry. And that is like a litfic fantasy, and Joanna's been really into litfic recently. And that's it. Those are the ones I chose for her. If and when she reads them and lets me know what she thinks, I will try to remember to let you know whether I was successful with the TBR that I chose for her. But until I have read these books, I will see you for part 2. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button. And I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks. Bye.